Welcome back to the PowerBase tutorial series. This is Josue Guillen with the Progressive Technology Project, and today we are going to be looking at using web forms with CiviCRM. In order to do this, and all of this is already set up on PowerBase, but in case you're using CiviCRM with Drupal, you would need a handful of additional modules. You need the Webform CiviCRM integration module, which Coleman is the person responsible for this amazing tool. You then also need the Drupal Webform module, and there are a couple of other ones that make for really nice additions. Arrange fields is one in particular that really is helpful with creating good looking forms. So we would create content on the Drupal side, and the kind of content we want is a web form. And we give it a title, and all of these settings can be set so that you are published but not promoting to the front page. You can create a URL alias so that you're not using the node 4 type of thing that Drupal gives you. And then you save it. And so the web form is created, but there are no fields in it yet. First, we click on the CiviCRM tab and we enable CiviCRM Processing. So one of the uses of this form is to be able to look up or add somebody new to your database and do an activity at the same time, fill out an activity at the same time on the same form. So we're going to go ahead and set that up. So by default, you see existing contact, first name and last name are checked. We are checking the fields that we want to show up in the web form. So let's go ahead and add job title. A current employer is something that you can add. It requires a little bit more work, and so maybe we will come back to this or do this in a future tutorial. Let's add some different fields from different custom field sets. So let's do issue interest and volunteer interests from the grassroots info fields. And let's go ahead. We won't do the address, but we will do a phone number, and we will do an email address. So I get into the habit of saving these settings. We are going to want to come back to the CiviCRM tab, and we're going to want to click on, we're in the individual section. This, you can see all of the things that we've checked. We want to click on the activity and choose an activity that we want to fill out for this process. And so let's choose an activity that has some custom fields connected to it. And so which one of these? How about the proposal? Proposal, we can see at the bottom here there's a whole set of custom fields. Non sequitur, not exactly what we are mostly going to be doing, but for the purposes of this tutorial, we wanted an activity that has custom fields that we can add to it. We can set a default subject to the activity, or we can make the activity subject available for people to fill in. So I'm going to leave it with a default. We can get these submissions emailed, and so you can via email send the entire web form submission, or a link to view it, or a link to edit it. And so we're gonna check the entire web form and include the link. This way you get maximum information, but you can easily go to the website, to PowerBase directly from your email. We can assign this activity to someone. We're going to do the activity details, which is the notes, and then we're going to add a couple of these custom fields, and then we're going to save the settings. There are a couple of things we need to do here. Here's the list of all of the fields that we just made available. In order to be able to arrange the fields and make them look good, we need to take them out of this field set. So I'm going to drag each of these fields out of contact one and make them independently available. And then I am going to save this to save the changes. And then I am going to go ahead and delete this field set because it is now doing nothing. Second, existing contact. In order to have the functionality we require, which is looking up someone in the database to see if they're in there, we need to make a couple of changes here. I'm going to edit this. The form widget needs to go to autocomplete. And you scroll down, the default is not current user, but it is none. And then we're going to save the component. Now when we view this form, here we have all the fields that we were looking at. And if you start typing into existing contact, you get a whole set of people. And if they have any of this information, it automatically gets filled in. So far, so good. One more thing, let's make it look pretty. We have an option here to arrange fields. Now we can drag the fields around and use more of the space on the form to make this more visually friendly. And then the different pieces of the activity. Let's get this up here. So we can drag fields and then we scroll up here and save position data. And now when we click view, we have a whole different looking form. And again, we look up somebody and we can see information. And when we fill in the different details, if we go back to PowerBase and look up Joseph Alessi, we can see that there is an activity called proposal with our first form, and here is the details And we can also go back to the web form and actually view the submission, and we can go back to the web form itself and view the results in a number of different ways. Web Forms gives you some very interesting options to be able to do more with the data itself. Going to stop here. This is our first web form. Thank you.